서울시에 이 정도 가격이면 괜찮죠?
그냥 이 정도 있는데 싸게 해줘. 오류 발견.
이만한 서울시에 이 정도 가격이면 괜찮죠?
그냥 이 정도 있는데 싸게 해줘.
삶과 죽음은 자연의 섭리니 거스를 수 없다라. 해보지 않으면 그 섭리의 한계가 어디인지 누가 알겠습니까? 섭리의 한계가 어디인지 누가 알겠습니까? 섭리의 한계가 어디?
ฮัลโหลฮัลโหล
이만한 서울시에 이
그냥
정도
이 정도
가격이면
있는데
괜찮죠?
싸게 해줘.
이만한 서울시에 이 정도 가격이면 괜찮죠?
ไอ
오랜 고질병입니다. 별일 아니니 걱정하지 마세요.
싸게 해줘.
서울에 오래 있으니 바다 풍경
제가 돈 중. 두냐르자드의 인형이잖아. 여행자. 지쳤구나.
อุ้ยเสียงเกาหลีนี่หว่าหรือ
생각해보니까 이곳에 정말 오래 갇혀 있었네. 두냐르자드랑 즐겁게 웃고 떠든 게 벌써 엄청 오래전 일인 것 같아. 그때 다 같이 여기 앉아 있었잖아. 닐로의 화신의 춤을 보러 가자면서 눈동자가 반...
살아가면서 괴로운 일은 항상 존재하지만 우린
방금 그 말 예전에 도냐르자드가 했던 말이잖아. 설마
왜 그래 여행자?
아직도 그 인형인 것 같은데. 방금 대체 어떻게 된 거지? 어디 가는데?
If you continue to resist, we will have to order an investigate. The Grand Sage has already granted you much leniency.
Traveler? You don't have to get involved. He's a sage from the academia. I don't want to drag you into...
Traveler.
Traveler? What the heck are you doing? If you get... Wait, they're not reacting. Have they been scared stiff? Oh, of course! If this is the sage's plan, so they're just
What is this? What happened to the Grand Sage and his entourage? Like I said, they symbolize the goddess of flowers.
Yes. The Greater Lord brought forth new Patisaras in memory of the goddess of flowers. But she ultimately could never truly replicate that beautiful shade of purple.
That beautiful shade of purple. Aren't these flowers real Patisaras? Just like the ones from the legend? I didn't even notice.
But didn't you just say all the real flowers went extinct after the goddess?
Yeah. What's going on here? Huh? You guys are acting weird. Hey!
คนที่ฝันก็คืออีนี่เองเหรอ
They disappeared! So Nilu's the host. What if the purple Patisaras don't exist in the real world anymore? But in Nilu's subconscious, they can appear as decorations on the stage. It's just like the example Nahida told us. People assume there will be food on a plate, and so when you saw the flowers, you instantly knew it was Nilu? But if we want to end the samsara, we need the host. How should we make Nilu realize?
Am I dreaming?
Huh?
So I'm right. Is this Lesser Lord Kus...
Wrong guess, but you aren't completely wrong either. As far as you know, people in Sumeru don't dream, right?
Yeah, but have you heard the tale of the first sage? To prevent a calamity, he went on a journey.
Ooh, sounds familiar. Dunyarzad told us a story like that when we...
Yep, but in the part you heard, he hadn't become the first sage yet. There's more. His piety and wisdom were acknowledged by the Dendro Archon, and she finally gave her blessing. All kinds of spectacular scenes appeared in front of the first sage, as if all the knowledge in the world was being painted onto a canvas right before him. He was captivated. After who knows how long, he mastered all the knowledge he could comprehend. Afterward, he said to the Dendro Archon, "I miss my parents, my wife, and my children." The Dendro Archon smiled. The next second, the sage found himself lying in his bed. His wife, lying next to him, said, "You're off to search for the Dendro Archon today, aren't you?" In the end, the first sage took care of many disasters in Sumeru City, and founded the...
So, the first sage was dreaming ever since the beginning of the story? He never went on his journey?
Yes. But his faith and determination were conveyed to the Dendro Archon, so she blessed him in the form of a dream.
Paimon understands where you're coming from now. That's a really interesting connection. But we really gotta wake up soon.
I see. Well, it just so happens that today's Sub-Zero's festival is almost over. Since we're in a dream, let's make this final dance of Sub-Zero's as beautiful as we can.
Scene.
The wait is over, everyone. I dedicate this to our god, the dance of Sub-Zero's.
I'd be lying if I said I had no regrets. I would have loved to see Nilu's dance.
Oh, good morning, traveler. Oh, Paimon feels like she's been asleep for the longest time. Paimon's head feels super heavy. Did we oversleep? Paimon thinks it was the Sub-Zero's best. Have we finally escaped from the Sub-Zero Samsara? Quick! Take off your Akasha terminal! She's not in her room. What happened? Huh? What?
ออกจากเควสได้เลย
Well done, Traveler and Paimon. And thank you, Dunyarzad, for organizing the Sub-Zero's festival for me.
I'm sorry, who?
Dunyarzad!
Oh, Traveler Paimon. I just had a dream.
You're actually Nahida, aren't you? Paimon felt like Catherine was acting weird when we met at the Sub-Zero's festival, and... Dunyarzad, did you save her?
It's a really long story. We shouldn't disturb her. Her consciousness is still weakened. Let's chat somewhere else. How about...
Let's talk about Dunyarzad first. It's such a relief that she...
After we parted on the last day of the Sub-Zero's festival, I left the city and saw what the travel among the countless dreams. I found one that was growing fainter and fainter. This once Dunyarzad could no longer bear the Akasha harvesting her dreams, her consciousness began to dissipate. But such a small fragment of consciousness can't last for very long, though. Where both will gradually fade until they completely I used all the power I had to keep her dying dream alive as long as possible.
So it looks like we did manage to save Dunyarzad in the end. Not a moment too soon.
Huh? Why are you two smiling so happily? I thought you'd be so moved that you'd start crying.
Both are fine. Everyone reacts differently.
All right. You two must have a lot of other questions for me, right? After all, you saved my faithful believer. As your reward, I will answer any and all questions.
At the Avidia forest, there was this incense that made the traveler fall unconscious and dream of a huge tree and a red sky.
You also heard someone's voice, right? It said world.
Yeah, so you do know. We've been wanting ask you what that was about. And it seems like the traveler established a connection to Irminsul. That was a message left by Greater... As you two probably know, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared after the disaster in Con... A message from Greater Lord Rukkhadevata? We thought it was from King Deshret. King Deshret? That god who died even longer ago? Some present-day desert dwellers still worship him. Okay, so what does the message mean? I still haven't managed to decipher it. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul seems to be contaminated with so many devoted scholars go mad as soon as they connect their consciousness. But I believe this is the key to saving Irminsul. That's why I've kept trying to decipher. So the tree in the vision was Irminsul? Oh, Tainari also said, but even if you can't figure out what that vision was all about, the traveler wasn't affected after coming in contact with that consciousness. I've never seen anyone like that. No, we must decipher its secrets. I've already eliminated all other... This puzzle has life and death at stake. It could determine Irminsul's fate, as well as Teyvat's. To be accurate, I'm using the Akasha as a medium to occupy Catherine's consciousness. How did you do that? Poor Catherine. Theoretically, I can enter anyone's mind as long as they're wearing their Akasha terminal. The Akasha is the legacy of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. As Lesser Lord Kusanali and the first Akasha terminal, I've always respected my people's free will, so I've never actually occupied their consciousness. When necessary, I just borrow this bionic Snezhnayan puppet.
สรุปเป็นหุ่นเชิดเรียนแบบคนของนิสนายา
Hold on. Did we just learn some deep, dark secret? What about your own body? Why do you need to borrow other people's? Don't you live in the sanctuary of Surasthana? That story begins a long time ago. After Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared, the sages found my newly born self and took me back to Sumeru. At that time, I was young and weak. The sages kept me in the sanctuary of Surasthana, ostensibly for the sake of protecting me. However, I do understand that they had hoped to find Greater Lord Rukkhadevata instead of me. So, the sages basically put their new Archon under house arrest? In some ways, they aren't wrong. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was omniscient and I'm still really far away from being able to call myself the God of Wisdom. Moreover, the Academia is also more proficient at governing. Yeah, you got a lot of believers. Just look at the Sub-Zero's festival. Thank you for the kind words. But I honestly don't need this. Trying to find a way to save Irminsul is my life's mission and top priority. I will work on that, and every once in a while, I will also take up the duties of the God of Wisdom and enlighten a lost soul here and there. There has never been any big problems with the Academia's governance of Sumeru. I wonder what caused them to go down this path. Even though the city's residents haven't noticed anything strange, if the traveler... I tried to do some investigating in the Akasha, but I couldn't... I think they're deliberately... Oh, that reminds Paimon! In Gandharvaville, there was a sage who had... Regardless, I need to first investigate the sage's motives, make things right, and punish them if needed. You mean how the Akasha stops you? Yeah, it's been such a long... It's not that no one noticed. It's more like no one cared. Misdirection? The sages convinced everyone to believe that being unable to dream is a sign of rationality and wisdom, even if the truth is that their dreams are being reaped by the Akasha. With their propaganda in place, the sages can maximize their use of the Akasha. Besides, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata must have created the Akasha in the hope... Anyway, the perspective advocated by the sage by now, even those who never use Akasha terminals find it too shameful and embarrassing to talk about their dreams. Got it. I hope my answers were satisfactory, Seeker. To be honest, maintaining Dunyarzad's fading dream took a lot of mental energy. Oh, and you don't need to worry too much about the sage's activities for now. Go and get some sleep. What a relief.
Traveler? Paimon? Why am I here?
Maybe you were sleepwalking. You know,
I see. Huh. I should visit my maintenance personnel sometime.
we spent quite some time in Sumeru City, but ever since we last said goodbye to Lesser Lord Kusanali, we haven't heard anything from her. Oh, we can't just keep waiting around like this. Let's go find Catherine and pick up some work so we can at least keep ourselves busy.
Astra Avisask. We meet again, you two.
Hi, Catherine. Do you have any commissions?
Commissions, huh? Oh, how about this? Please attend the Academia's academic
Wait,
and if possible, please also use your
huh? What kind of commission is that?
I see. In that case, please go to Port Armos and convince the Eremites there to spend some time volunteering.
Hey, that's not any better.
I'm sure the mercenary.
Paimon's gotta ask. Just
Oh, the commissioner? Well, actually, I just wanted to see the two of you in action.
Was it so obvious? I was hoping you would actually take one of those commissions. That kind of chance to observe humans doesn't come by often.
so it's Nahida. Paimon just knew Catherine wouldn't crack those kinds of jokes. When did you get into her head?
From when she...
So it's been you this whole time? Are you done resting up, Nahida?
Yes. I've been sleeping ever since we parted ways, and I even had a really, really long dream. It was another dream about the Sub-Zero's Fest. In my dream, I was sitting in the middle of a flower terrace, and I also got to sit on a gigantic flower
มีคนแอบ
carriage.
มา
Ferris, the Night of Flowers, raised me a really...
You know, Nahida, maybe your dream is how the Sub-Zero's festival really should be. It's meant to be a joyous time where everyone gets together to celebrate.
Huh? Wasn't I describing a...
No, we aren't pitying you. That would only make it... By the way, have you had a chance to visit Dunyarzad? How's she...
Yes, I paid her a visit right after I woke up. Her condition is stabilized. However, since Elazar is a manifestation of the... But for the moment, our top focus should still be figuring out what the sages are up to, and...
Right. Who knows what'll happen if they manage to pull off another scheme like the Samsara...
So our first priority should be investigating and putting a stop to the sages' activity.
Oh, good point. Sorry, adventurers. We're gonna be borrowing Catherine for a little while.
When on the road, one should take ample time to pause and appreciate the wondrous scenery along the way.
You're about to collapse, aren't you?
Ad Astra Avisa.
Hi, Catherine.
Commission. Oh! And if possible.
Huh? What kind of commission is that?
I see. In that case, please go to Port Or.
Hey, that's not any better.
Mm-hmm.
Paimon.
Oh, the commissioner? Well, actually, I just...
Was it so obvious? I was hoping you would actually take one of those commissions. That kind of...
So it's been you?
Yes. I've been sleeping ever since we parted ways. And I even had a it was another in my dream. I also got to sit...
You know, Nahida, maybe your dream is how the Sub-Zero's festival really should be. It's meant to be a joyous time where everyone gets together.
Huh?
No. By the way, have you...
Yes, I paid her condition is, but for the moment...
Right.
So our first
Oh, good.
Let's continue our chat here.
Okay, so do you have any idea?
Actually, I've already done a little bit of work. I've already tried that. But all the key members of the Academia, even the core 30 guards, and it seems that from the very beginning, they've been guarding against info leaks from the...
Have you already caught the same...
I'm guessing not yet. But this trust... In any case, No way.
You mean it'd be too easy to...
No, it's not that. We shouldn't involve innocent students in this, as doing that would be ignoring the safety of my people for my own selfish goal.
That's a good point. Spoken like...
We're in the dark as of now. Since we still don't know anything about their goals, any rash move, after all,
Nahida, you're super smart, so you already have...
According to a popular theory from the Vahumana Darshan of the Academia, rejecting impractical motions at the beginning of a planning session will give more...
Okay, but aren't you the god of wisdom? You don't have to use that...
Well, I've been thinking that if I can't directly possess the leaders, and if I can't get ordered, then I should find someone who's already involved, but hasn't decided to side with the sages.
You're saying we should recruit a spy? That does sound like it could work. Oh, before coming back, we met someone named Al-Haytham. He seems like he acts alone, and he likes doing stuff behind...
Actually, I already have someone in mind. Do you still remember that female scholar named Sataria?
Sataria. Paimon remembers now. Isn't she... We ran into her basically every time the Sub-Zero's festival repeated it. Paimon still remembers the smug and mean way she always...
I've always liked observing all kinds of... She was born in the desert and was hailed as their greatest genius. Her academic gifts...
Oh, Paimon didn't know she was from the desert. She must be pretty special then.
The name Sataria means star. When she lived in the desert, she shone like the brightest star in the night sky. Later on, she was chosen by the sun. The star was given a place soon after. The star witnessed the sun scorching the earth. The star began to waver. Instead of staying beside such a sun, wouldn't it be? But in the end, she couldn't give up the radiance of daytime. To cope with her shame, the star buried her guilt and closed her eyes.
From the sound of it, Sataria's just hung up on the research opportunity, but she doesn't really support the academia. She still feels guilty about not...
Indeed. When they are presented with complex moral issues, many people she's suppressing a lot of guilt. But before she realized it, she had already become the sage's accomplice. Right. We must somehow make her face her problems again. That way, not only can we get useful intel from her, but she can also use it from my past observations. Sataria will take a day off from the academia every 10 days to do some shopping in the city. Tomorrow afternoon just happens to be a shopping day for her. To prepare, let's go check out some of her favorite spots, and have a quick chat with a few of the vendors there. This should be Sataria's favorite fortune-telling spot. So should we... No, I already have enough information on Sataria. The most important
Talking style and...
My poor lost lambs. Have you become troubled over the divine voice of wisdom often echoes between mine ears. If thou be blessed today by the gods, I may be able to show you the way.
Huh? Really? Nahida, you've been whispering things to her?
Shh. My friend here has some doubts regarding his...
Of course, of course. In that case... It would seem that Harut and Marut are quite wary of you. Perhaps...
Only mocking the god of Animo, questioning the lord of Geo's financial savviness, and brawling with the god of Electro. Do those count?
Oh, nothing. Go on, pick an aspect for her to divine.
Health prospects. No problem at all. The gods have spoken. The truth shall be revealed. Your life shall continue on for many tens of thousands of years. Harut, Marut, did you two spoil my divination? I've never read a fortune so
Actually, Paimon thinks this is probably the most accurate fortune telling.
I admit that the orientation.
Is that so?
If you were to bring some food offerings for Heart and Mart on.
Is this another one of
Yep, it belongs to a king. His father helped Sataria a lot when she first moved when I started talking with him.
Ah, dear customers. Would you like to look at some pottery?
We caught wind of your great.
Oh, I recognize you. Aren't you Miss Catherine from the Adventurers Guild? Sounds like
Speaking of, where.
I suppose you could say it all started with my dad. After that, I began making pottery by myself in secret.
That's nice.
Oh, no, not anymore. A few years back, he fell from a roof.
I see. I'll have someone in charge of logistics at the guild come.
No problem. Rest easy. That was my first time talking with Miss...
This should be our final stop. Sataria's always thinking of
Nahida.
It's my duty to protect Sumeri's citizens.
Hi there. I feel like I've seen you down by the docks before. Huh? If I recall, you were having.
Ah, that's right. After all, I grew up in Liyue Harbor and spent my entire childhood staring at the ships going in and out of the. But I'm still discussing all kinds of problems with different scholars.
What an admirable spirit for. So this restaurant has a basement as well?
That's right. It's not usually open to patrons.
I see. Yes, that makes sense.
Thank you so much. As long as.
So, was that everybody?
3 familiar faces should.
What's the point of all the information we've collected? Nahida.
Sataria is already used to avoiding her problem. I remember you mentioned that the Eremites in Port Ormuz are all making. Although it's all just a boatload of nonsense, the fate of her home.
Oh, Paimon gets it now. Although she knows she should return home to help the people of the desert, all she's done is conspire with the sages.
Well, King Deshret is long gone. And Sataria is also too smart. If we simply engaged her under the guise of King Deshret's believers, she would. But if we were to borrow some of her close acquaintances to talk with her.
So, you mean you're going to.
Yep. Possess them through the Akasha. Imply they've already converted to the faith of King Deshret, and then convey her. As long as everything goes smoothly, we'll get through to Sataria for sure.
So that's how you're going to use all the info we collected on these people. It's so that you won't slip up?
Exactly. So, best of luck.
Huh? Best of luck?
That's no problem at all. I'll just share all their senses with you once I've possessed them. As long.
That is pretty convenient. But
although I've been observing humans for a while, I've never been good at imitating them.
You're not wrong. It's always been painfully obvious whenever you try to pass it.
If it was at all possible, I would have preferred.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up over it.
Alright, then let's.
กลายเป็นนางไปแล้ว
Huh? Here she comes. Satori, let's quietly follow her. Once she starts talking to her acquaintances, as for how we'll sway her to our side, I'll leave that to you. I trust.
Looks like they've already started talking. Let's find out.
That's right. You really can't force anything when it comes to love. And besides, everyone around me has a very different background and outlook. Are you still
Oh, of course I am listening.
Okay then. You just... Strange. Your cats seem pretty worked up. Is something... I always thought they were quiet, happy kitties. Oh, what are their names again? Ah, that's right. They're just little darlings, aren't they?
So, which fortune?
I'd like to get another reading on my love prospects, but to be perfectly honest with you, I feel like...
A mess?
Well, could you do a reading on how long it'll take me to finish my current project?
I hear you. No problem at all.
Sorry, your new laugh is just so hilarious.
Please pay. The gods are asking. Sataria, why haven't you gone home?
Why haven't I gone home?
Sataria, why don't you just go home? It's a demand now instead of a...
I'm sorry. And if I may ask, Nabia, is there a specific god who's speaking to...
What an inconsiderate and naive question. The god who is speaking to me is, of course, the wisest and mightiest of all, King Deshret.
King Deshret? No wonder he would make such demand of me. Wait a second. Even though news of King Deshret's resurrection has been spreading like wildfire, it's all just a misinformation campaign from the academia. How can King Deshret still exist in real life?
What insolence! I am King Deshret's most loyal believer. Do you wish...
Oh, no. As a child of the desert, I am only reveling in his power upon learning that his... I will think very carefully about his demand of me. I'm sorry. I must go now.
Wait!
Whoa! She just ran off it. Well done. Sataria didn't seem to suspect anything amiss. To have something she's been trying desperately to avoid show up out of nowhere and berate her, that must have shaken her to the core.
Aw, Nahida, it seems like...
All I know are some abstract Haribata theories. In any case, anyway, enough of that.
He's out of keys now, right on cue. Let's get ready to possess him right away!
It's okay. I just got caught up in something. Oh, actually, didn't you ask me to help you look for work? What kind of work were you looking for again? Oh, right. Your old man's craft. Speaking of, how's he doing? Is he feeling any better? Oh, that's good to hear. I've been thinking a lot about him. Actually, while we're talking about him...
Yeah, he's been retired there for a while.
If you could find the time, please write him a letter. Let him know that recently, faith in King Deshret. He has a quick temper and has always been a devout follower of the Dendro Archon. I don't want him to get into a fight with those King Deshret believers because of a difference in beliefs.
Oh? So, who are you siding with in all of this? The Academia or King Deshret? I'm so jealous of you. You were born a child of the desert, yet you chose to betray King
Akeem, you don't mean you've also become a believer of King Deshret?
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise King Deshret? In fact, aren't you the strange one?
Can't pick a side? Me?
Whoa! Paimon had no idea you'd be so good at this!
You really zeroed in on the issue and put it right in front of her. But once everything is over, I'll be sure to pay her a visit.
Come on! Sataria's already started talking with Shishan!
So, Shishan, like, as if someone was trying to preach to you about something?
Oh, right. I celebrated the Sub-Zerus festival so many times that I lost count. That was really weird.
Wait, how could you be aware of that? That should be impossible. Nothing in the report indicated it.
Are you still failing to realize that the Academia's lowly tricks could never deceive all of Sumeru's citizens?
Shishan, don't tell me that you've converted to King Dash.
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming... In reality, shouldn't you be the one who is ashamed? You, who works side by side with the Academia, and treated...
Please stop!
Even now, Sataria's still trying to run from her problems.
She can no longer justify everything.
Hey, she's trying to talk to the guards!
This is the most important part of all...
Mercenary, you're a member of the Corps of 30, correct? Please help me pass a message to the Mater right away. The situation in the city is getting out of control.
Please, try to remain calm.
Heretics are infiltrating the city, and they've already converted many residents to their side.
Heretics?
Well, King Deshret. Many people I know have suddenly started believing in him, but he's long dead. It's
Miss Sataria, nothing is impossible.
You know my name?
King Deshret is immortal, and all who defy him will one day pay the price.
You must face the truth, Sataria. You tread a treacherous path, and the longer you ignore it, the tighter the Academia's grasp on you will become, and the deeper...
Child of King Deshret, never forget that the desert that belongs to you lies elsewhere.
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise King Deshret? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one who still can't pick a side?
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer of King Deshret.
Sataria, why haven't you gone home?
It seems that no matter where I run, I only keep finding more I've also been running from my guilt this whole time. Guilt over my part in the Sage's plans, and from But no matter how much I may try to ignore or get rid of it, my guilt always comes back.
You won't necessarily lose your research opportunities by facing the truth. Besides,
How do you know me so well? Are you truly just a believer of King Deshret?
That's not important. The important thing is to pass judgment on the Academia and its sages, and if you could provide some assistance in this matter, perhaps it could serve as...
I've actually never believed in the gods, but I've always believed in serendipity. Your appearance must be a fated... Please tell me, what can I do for you?
How much do you know about the sages' current...
I was just one of the designers for the masked dream harvest scheme, which is what happened around the Sub-Zerus festival. but I know very little about the full scope of the overall project. I'd assume that only staff. I've just been working to meet the Grand Sages. However, there's something that's been really bothering me. I heard that a scholar who was previously expelled has returned to the city, and even the sages are still quite wary of him.
To fight against the Academia, we will need to figure out the nature and the purpose of their work.
It should be possible if we're willing to take some risks. After all, I'm an assistant. One thing, though, I won't be able to transfer the documents to you through the Akasha once I get my hands on them. Let me see.
Let's the Academia entrance. Wouldn't that be too...
Don't worry about that. I assure you, this won't be a trap. I'm only suggesting this location because it'll draw more scrutiny for me to leave the Academia again. It'll be safest...
All right, I trust you.
So, if I were to...
That'll depend on the judgment of the Dendro Archon.
The Dendro Archon. That's right. Her people are the ones we have endangered. As the god of wisdom, she's also... Maybe it's time for me to find a god to believe in.
Just as Nahida predicted, we've managed to bring the Traveler's execution was ingenious. Well, now that we've made plans to meet again tomorrow evening...
Pray? But if we're going to pray to the gods, aren't we just praying to you? God of wisdom and guardian of the sky...
No. The truth is the true guardian of scholars. I've always... That's right. I suppose I'm the other Catherine in your mind.
Shh! We're on a secret mission tonight, so we need...
Yep, Paimon's right. We cannot fully rule out if something were to happen. My existence may, after all, the Academia...
Yep, exactly! Just what Paimon was thinking. Anyway, enough about that. Let off? What do you feel is... It's the middle of the night.
No, I think if you look around, there seems to be fewer people on the streets.
Maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe Sataria figured out...
I also can't quite figure out why things feel a little off.
Well, regardless... There really aren't many people out right now. Let's hope it'll be this quiet in front of the Academia, and that Sataria managed to distract all the guards. This hour of the night.
The triumphant hero returns at last. and to a rather spectacular welcome, even if I do say so myself.
ไอ้วันนี้
The outcast, expelled from the academia.
Indeed I am. Although these days they tend to call me the Doctor.
เฮ้ยนี่ไง
If you're looking for your researcher friend, she has already been taken into confinement. With some basic caution, she could have discovered the listening device on her person. Clearly, she lacks the degree of rigor expected of a true scholar.
โอ้ยอยากได้ตัวนี้จะเมื่อไหร่จะมา
The people of Sumeru City. What have you done to them?
I simply made some minor adjustments to their Akasha terminals. Now they can deposit information directly into the subconscious. As you can see, all these lovely people now believe this traveler is a hero who has just saved the world. My experiment is a success. And now it seems they can no longer hold back their sheer adoration.
No, what should we do? These are all just regular people. Leave now. You need to get out of here.
What? That guy's a fatui harbinger! We can't just leave you here!
Nor can I abandon the people of Sumeru. Don't worry. We'll meet again outside of the city.
I see. You appear to have overridden their mental faculties with your own consciousness. To possess such a powerful mind, you must be the god of wisdom.
This should be far enough. Is Nahida going to be okay? We only made it out because of her. Paimon wasn't counting on running into a new harbinger here. He called himself the Doctor. Remember, Tainari told us about him, and that even the sages are wary of him. Yep, sounds like she must have been talking about the Doctor. Yeah, now that the Doctor's in the picture, we're no longer just dealing with the academia, but what are the fatui after this time? Another nose? Yeah, things would be a lot easier with Nahida said we'll meet again outside of the city. But we can't just keep waiting around, right? You mean... Oh, right! Wasn't he invited by the sages to work on... Even though he turned it down at the time, he might still know something. There's no time to lose. Let's go...
จบแต่ไปดิ